Hey everyone. Okay, Shaun just jumped in, so I'm going to bring him in. We have not talked pre-stream. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to bring Shaun in right now, and then I'm going to do the little intro thing. Hey, Shaun.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you? Thanks for being here.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate you doing this. And, I really felt like when the community started to reach out after me being on BitBoy's stream, that I was like, my thing is controversy. And when I got into cryptocurrency, I came here because I was like, I was studying the evolution of tribalism. And so I was like, I wouldn't be me if I didn't come in or if I wouldn't talk to anybody. So really, yeah. So I really appreciate being pushed to do this, and thank you for coming.
Sure. Happy to be here. I don't know how much pushing that I did, but
no, I don't. I think your community pushed a bit. Okay, so I guess before we start, there's just something that I want to remind everyone who's watching, and it's that both of the communities represented here today.
Sure.
Sorry, Shaun. What'd you say?
I didn't say anything. You cut out for a second.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's mine or end.
Okay. So I just want to remind everyone who's watching that both of the communities who are represented here today have undergone a lot of hate and backlash from the broader crypto community. And so from my studies of tribalism and just my sociological training, I know that it's true that when communities are under pressure, they get to be really tight knit. It can make them really strong, but it also makes them really hard and really reject people who have anything to say that might contradict what they believe to be true. And so I want to remind everyone that when we're talking to each other, we need to remember that while we do represent cryptocurrencies that may have some kind of competition involved, we're all human beings. So I want to remind everyone to please treat each other with respect in the chat, in life, on Twitter, all the time, but especially when you're here.
Sounds good.
Cool. So, all right. Do you want to give a brief introduction to who you are and what you do? And
sure. So my name's Shaun Witriol. I'm from San Diego, California right now. Grew up in Maryland. My background's in accounting and finance, and my affiliation with SafeMoon is really just of a social media influencer. I don't have any relationship with the core team, although I have built some friendships through the team over the past few months, just based off of the work that I've been putting out, and definitely built some stronger relationships with the community, as you can probably tell based off of your Twitter feed the past day or so. So it's been quite the journey in a short 3 months.
Yeah, so I had to mute that thread yesterday. I know I messaged you, and I was like, hey, because I even messaged you before I published the title of the broadcast, and I was like, don't get mad, it's just clickbait because we want the highest number of people to watch as possible, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and you were like, yeah, that makes sense. So people who got very, very upset, I don't know. I don't really know what to say, but just there's nothing to be upset over. Okay, so I wanted to start this discussion with what our communities have in common, so that we can find some common ground to build on and relate to each other. So I have a list, and both. Okay, so you know a little bit about Hex or not anything about it?
A little bit about Hex. Yeah, I did some research. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so both communities have been hardcore fudded in crypto media, and by the crypto influencers, right?
Yes.
Both are potentially victims of PR and media campaigns.
Absolutely.
Okay. Both tokens or intention is to incentivize holding and not really trading.
That's the premise of DeFi.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Both have been gatekept by CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and other rankings sites, and are correctly represented.
Good. They do a great job.
Yeah. Okay. So, by the way, Hex is number 4 by market cap, as represented on Nomics, and SafeMoon, as of a couple of hours ago, was number 53. Whereas on CoinMarketCap, Hex is number 201, and SafeMoon is number 204.
Okay.
So
that sounds about right.
Yeah. Are you so has your community looked into or tried to talk to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko or any of the other ranking sites about why their data is reported incorrectly?
So CoinGecko, I believe, is a little bit more accurate than CoinMarketCap CoinMarketCap, the last I heard from the core team was that they just aren't doing their due diligence. And I don't want to get into who did what or what isn't being done, but that's the word that I've received from them, that there is just some things on their end that aren't being completed. So that's why we would go to sites like Nomics or even CoinGecko before that to get the more accurate data.
Okay, sure. I guess I didn't really look on CoinGecko to see what your ranking was there. I know that Hex is incorrectly ranked in both places.
Okay.
So I guess I made the assumption that, another thing we have all in common is really defensive communities. So yeah, people would, and it's natural for when people feel like they're under attack to feel like they need to always defend, even when that's not necessarily the case. Then both have seen astronomical gains in the 1.5 years since Hex launched. The token has increased by 18,662%. And that doesn't count the rewards that you would have gotten from staking and from Big Payday, in which case that number could almost be double. And then SafeMoon has increased in the 3 months since its inception. SafeMoon has increased 19,500%.
Sounds about right. And you definitely crunch some numbers.
So people hate to see other people making money. And that's really sad, isn't it?
I don't think it's other people hating other people to see money. I think it's people reading 1 or 2 articles, not getting into the details and not really trying to understand the nooks and crannies of how the functionality of a certain coin works. You know, they trust certain people that are huge in the community, and those people read 1 or 2 articles, relay what they've heard, and then believe that to be complete or 100% found. Where if you get into the details of anything, you can find pros and cons of anything. And with SafeMoon, you know, the backing of the company is by 2 former Department of Defense employees who, if they were to rug pull or pull some sort of scam, they would never, ever be able to go back to what they've done. They would lose all credibility. I'm sure they have some sort of military benefit where they would lose completely. And so that was the reason why I jumped in around day 3. You don't see something like this in crypto where there's actually credibility and honor behind the people behind this.
Okay, so let's come back to that because that's actually something that I've got listed, but I want to do this like last point first about how I feel like, you know, there's one more really kind of notable similarity between the 2 projects, and they're both audited. But this is where I think that there's some divergence, where Hex was audited twice which had 2 security audits and 1 economics audit. They all passed like flying colors. SafeMoon has had 2 security audits, and both have both the CERDIC audit and then the one that was mentioned when I was on the stream with BitBoy, and both audits revealed 13 issues, 13 of the same issues, and where CERDIC flagged 2 of them as major and none as critical. The other auditing firm flagged 1 as critical, and I think 3 more as as major. So I wanted to talk about why the team rejected CERDIC's suggestions for improvement.
So I can tell you that a lot of it has to do with the LP and the burn address. A lot of people looking in on it look at it as a accessible wallet, where that wallet can be accessed and pulled out by anyone at any particular time. Where if you actually go into that wallet, the burn wallet, there is no public address. It can't be pulled. And once it's in there, it's gone. So I think that was the major issue, and they aren't going to change that. Once you go into the details of it, you can see that it's an area that we all understand, and it's all going to be burnt, and it's all going. So
it's all
forever.
Going to be burnt, but it's not all burnt right now.
From my understanding, it is automatically burnt or into the burn wallet. As far as the procedures behind it, I wouldn't be able to give you the exact details of what's going on. I don't have those high-level details.
Okay, so I'm looking for it because I have a different question about this, about the burn wallet, and that was, so I know that you've said that the funds from the burn wallet haven't moved. I'm just wondering, is there any place where we can verify with on-chain analysis that those funds haven't been moved and that no one's ever going to touch them?
Sure, you can actually go on to BSC scan to see those coins in there and that they haven't moved. You can actually click on the wallet, you just can't access it.
Okay, but you don't know if the burn is supposed to take place automatically or if someone has to get control of those funds and burn them manually. Is
So
that
it
correct?
is no. So it is supposed to be an automatic burn in the
It's
burn
supposed
wallet.
to be an automatic burn wallet. Is there a place that I can verify that the automatic burn will take place?
You can verify it with the contract address in the contract, and then go to the burn wallet itself.
Okay. All right. And so how much of the tokens actually do go to a wallet that is controlled by developers or by the core team?
I believe the split is 10% tax or fee on the coin, and then 5% goes to the burn wallet, 2.5% goes back to the holders, and then 2.5% goes back to the liquidity pool that can be accessed by the developer.
Okay, so 2.5% goes to the holders, and that's still a fairly sizable chunk of all the transactions, correct?
It is.
Okay, and there's no multi-sig on that wallet, is there?
Multi-sig on the return?
The return wallet that goes back to the core team.
I don't believe so. No.
Yeah, there's not, and that was one of Cerdic's suggestions.
Okay, well, I'm sure they're working on it. You know, I'm not a developer.
So what I know they've said is that they don't need to have a multi-sig because they have complete trust for each other, and because the team is my dog. Because the team is government contractors, they're trusted and not a problem, and that's the position, right?
I believe that's the position they took the last time I read the audit.
Okay. So, I mean, I think that there are a lot of people out there, in fact, even just based on some of the articles I've read, who would say that, government contractors aren't necessarily the most trustworthy people, particularly with crowds that are into cryptocurrency, right? Like we tend not to trust, the government. So, I know that that's a major point of contention. I don't know if you have anything to say, or I just mentioning it.
Sure. Going back to trusting a government contractor, you really have to put them up there with a regular government employee. They have clearances. They have been rectified and reviewed by not just the IRS, but by the DOD and the internal government. And depending on your rank and where you are, certain levels of clearances. And I'm pretty sure that given Thomas Smith's papa's background, he was most likely top secret. And given John Caroni's background as a combat veteran and then an analyst, I am pretty sure that he was top secret as well. So I would put a lot of faith in their statements there.
Okay. So yeah, I think that there are a lot of people who would definitely disagree with that, but I'm just going to leave that alone, because let people make up their own minds about where they stand on whether being involved with top secret government agencies makes you trustworthy or not. So
well, let's get into that. Let's get into that. Why would you not trust someone who, in this type of industry that is crypto, where people are being rug pulled left and right? Obviously, not Hex, not SafeMoon. Why wouldn't you, with someone who has credibility?
Why wouldn't I trust a secret agent? Like,
why wouldn't you trust someone who has... not a secret agent? Those are two very different things. Mm-hmm. Why would you not trust someone who's been cleared by the government with clearances to be able to review documents and trustworthy, as opposed to someone who is just off the street saying they created a coin and just walked out and asked you for your money?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that I would just trust someone who is random off of the streets, but typically people who are certified or, endorsed by government have some kind of ulterior motive, and potentially the government pays them to have an ulterior motive. So no, I wouldn't trust a coin that has backers with government. I mean, sure. That's something that everybody should make up for themselves. But yeah, that would be a problem for me. But let's talk about, do you know anything about where the inspiration, fork, or copy of code for SafeMoon came from?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know where that originated. So
okay.
Unfortunately, I can't comment on that.
Okay, so I've reviewed the code, and it is a replica, built upon, but originally a replica of a code of a protocol called Proof of Weak Hands. So while it's not like, it's definitely been around for much longer, it has a higher market cap than Proof of Weak Hands ever did. It was a out and out scam. The founders were anonymous, and that does make it different. It really does. I agree with you that having a face and people behind it makes things different. I don't know that because something came from something that was a scam makes it a scam. I don't really call things scams ever, because who knows? All right, someone said something and he tipped, so I need, okay, head is, oh, all right, sorry, that's not relevant. Okay, so let's go to all right. Well, let's go back to what we've said about we agree on this thing where influencers have really been just like negative and harping on the projects. So since we've talked about influencers in crypto media, I want to say, like, you've said that this project is rejected by influencers because they don't understand the burn wallet, and I think that the same is true for Hex. But you've had really big name influencers support SafeMoon, right? Like Dave Portnoy, Soulja Boy, Nick Carter. They've all supported SafeMoon. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I don't know if I said influencers have rejected it. I think the community and other people who are into Bitcoin and Ethereum along those natures. So I wasn't very specific in the beginning. We were just starting.
Yeah, it was specific crypto influencers. So yeah.
Sure. In those industries, yes, they have.
Yeah, I agree. And so do you happen to know if any of those influencers who have spoken positively about SafeMoon were paid to do so?
No, they were not.
They were not. Okay. So I don't know. There's an article out there that says that someone who joined your team had this background in PR, and that immediately after he joined your team is when all three of these big name influencers came on board.
Okay. Well, that is news to me. Okay. I won't be able to tell you whose connections belong to who or what person is affiliated with the other person. But if that person is affiliated with these people, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're paid. It could just be an association. So
sure, it's true.
And
I don't have a problem even with paying influencers. I'm not attacking you. So I do want to note, like, both. So Soulja Boy first promoted SafeMoon on April 19th, and that was preceded immediately by a price dump. And the same was true with Portnoy. Do you have any idea about that, or did you notice that change?
I saw the pump and then I saw the dump. Whenever something goes up that rapidly, you have to expect people to sell out. So I don't know if that's directly related to the long-term effect. It's probably someone or a few people taking profits just from reflections. We can see over time that the whales, the larger holders, have been slowly getting rid of their reflections to take profit. So that could be part of it as well.
So do those holders, just out of curiosity, the people who are taking profit, that's it's built in because people who make more profit are then able to take profit? Is that because then they don't need to worry about the 10% burn, the 10% fee?
Well, the larger the wallet, the more reflections you will receive. And so I would assume, and I don't have the numbers in front of me or the cells in front of me, that if they are selling, it's most likely them selling reflections based off of what they received for the most part, because the wallets, for the most part, the larger ones haven't changed too much. They have gone down a little bit over the past few weeks.
Okay. And so is there a place where people can view all of the wallet balances? Is there a SafeMoon Vision or something like that?
So the data is very raw. I've been posting some information on the wallets, but it's all from BSC scan. And so the data is very tough to sort, but if you just want the simple download, it will include the exchanges, so the information is a little skewed. You can go to BSU Scan and export the data to an Excel sheet, and you'll just have to look at the wallets to see the larger ones. Ultimately, the big wallets are the exchanges, so you'll just have to go through that and take those out.
Okay. All right. And so you're part of the Apollo 10, which is kind of like SafeMoon's ambassador program. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of describing it.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm part of what, is sort of like Hex's ambassador program, and it's just completely community run. There's no marketing agency or anything. Right. So I understand. And so I just wanted to ask, where is it? I don't know where I was going with that.
All right.
All right. So I know that in a conversation with SafeMoon Michael, you said you don't know if we, meaning crypto, will ever decouple from Bitcoin. And so, so I'm wondering what is the primary asset that SafeMoon's liquidity is tied to? So it moves up and down with the market as it's tied to whatever asset, right?
Right. It's BNB right now.
BNB? Okay. I thought that it was ETH. from the scans that I looked at. Oh, that's why I wanted to ask about the ambassador program. Sorry, let's go back. So for your ambassador program, do you guys like get, I don't know, we don't do that. Like we just kind of do this for fun because we want to, but do you get like rewarded for doing things that benefit your community?
No, there are no rewards.
Okay. But just for, I don't know, if there's anybody out there who's part of the ambassador program who wants to, contribute something that could be really helpful, having something like SafeMoon, SafeMoon Vision, where people can view like fully transparent data about what's going on can be super helpful. So I don't know if there's someone out there watching. I'm just giving you a suggestion.
Sure. That's great. Great suggestion.
Thanks. All right. So now let's go back to this other question about SafeMoon, Michael. So you said it's tied to BNB, right?
Right.
So if BNB is tied to Bitcoin. So if BNB goes up, then SafeMoon is going up with it, right? And so if BNB goes down, SafeMoon is going down with it. So I'm just curious if there's like a plan for tying liquidity to another asset so that it can decorrelate. Like, for instance, you say that cryptocurrencies are all dependent on Bitcoin, but Hex is actually not because its primary liquidity is tied to USDC.
Right. And so that statement may have been taken a little bit out of context. What I meant by that was Bitcoin is the gold standard. It's the first coin that everyone thinks of collectively, not between you and I or anybody involved in cryptocurrency, but someone just getting in. When you say crypto, they think Bitcoin. And then you get into the details of DeFi, Ethereum, Doge, all the other coins, and that's when you can get into the specifics. So that's what I meant by that statement. As far as being tied to another coin, there's a lot of information, a lot of details coming out with upcoming projects from SafeMoon. There's talks of a blockchain. There's talks of Operation Phoenix, which is a project they've been working on for a while. And so I think there is plans to have it tied to something else, but right now it is tied to BNB. So it will move with BNB.
Sorry, it will move with BNB.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So people are saying that I'm coming off terribly and that I'm spitting in Richard's face by doing this. I'm not sure that that's true. Okay.
Who's Richard?
Richard is the founder of Hex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So actually what you just said is, actually ties into my next question perfectly. So I'm going to ask you about SafeMoon. Michael had created models showing SafeMoon's path to a penny and how one could turn $100 into $1 million over time of holding, right? Mm-hmm. And SafeMoon is still in development. That's true, correct? I mean, like there's still the idea that the value of the token is going to come from being used in like someplace like the Gambia and potentially being used as the default on the blockchain. Is that right?
Yeah. There's a lot of hope and a lot of potential with this project.
Okay, so are people who are investing it? So it's still in development. So does that mean that people who are investing it are expecting returns based on the work of others?
Well, isn't that the premise of any coin or any project or any?
No, not when the project is complete.
Okay, well, if the project's complete, then they would probably no longer touch the contract or
then Hex is a complete project, or not a project, it's a product because it's complete. And that means that it's not a security. So you've worked in finance. Do you know what the Howey test is?
The Howdy? No, I have never.
The Howey test. The Howey test is how regulators determine if an asset is a security. Okay. And the primary condition for something being determined a security is that it has to, that investors are expecting returns on the work of others. So SafeMoon, I don't have a problem with the fact that it's a security. Like I don't really like the SEC or anything that they say or do, but that does mean that SafeMoon is a security. And so are all SafeMoon investors accredited?
No, we're not owning a piece of the company. We're just owning a coin or a token. So I don't know if you can officially call that a security. I have to look more into that test. I appreciate you bringing it up to me. It's something I'll have to do some more research into and get back. But as far as I know, we're not owning any piece of the company. In fact, I know that for certain. So,
right. But the expectation is that the token's value will rise because it will have further utility as the project is continued to be developed.
Okay. Well, that's something that I appreciate you bringing to my attention. But that can also be tied to other crypto out there as well.
Sure, absolutely, for sure. There's so many cryptos that are securities that are not necessarily deemed that way. I'm not really like trying to attack it for being a security. I just want for everybody who is watching this and invested in the project to understand the potential risks that a company is that.
Well, if they haven't done this with Bitcoin and they haven't done this with Ethereum, which both projects essentially are still being adopted in other aspects, then I don't expect them to declare this a security. While that isn't final answer or concrete advice, I just can't imagine that being the case with this one.
Yeah, okay, I understand. So it's like potentially there's no risk because they haven't deemed a bunch of other stuff securities, right? That are.
Just judging on the market, I don't know if they would call this what you were calling a security, and I have to do more review into that test. So, I do appreciate you bringing that up.
Sure. Yeah. No, I want for this to be a productive conversation and something that can be ongoing. So like if you ever have questions, I want to be able to come to you with my questions and ask them openly. And I hope that you always feel like you can come to me or any member of this community.
Sure.
So someone says, CMC is owned by Binance. Yes, it is. CoinMarketCap is owned by Binance, which may make them less likely to list assets that people don't trade as much. So,
then they should definitely list SafeMoon. It's one of the more trending assets out there, and it's probably something to do with them not listing us on Binance. I don't understand why when other tokens or coins are being listed with lower volume, why this one is not. And so that's something that I'll never know the answer to, as I'm not part of the core team.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Does the core team ever do interviews or podcasts or anything? Because I would love to ask them some questions sometime.
Right now, they haven't scheduled anything. I know that if you join the Discord, you can ask questions. They might not get to it, but you are able to send them questions.
Okay, cool. Someone just asked, isn't SafeMoon listed incorrectly on CMC2? Yes, indeed it is. It is number 53 on Nomics and number 204 on CoinMarketCap. So we went over that at the beginning of the episode. All right, so I feel like now my questions are kind of concluded. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask me?
I didn't prepare questions for this.
Okay.
I was expecting 60 minutes of just being grilled here. So
no, I don't want to grill you. I really want for lines of communication to always stay open between community. I think that there's some people from the SafeMoon community who are really upset with the way that this interview went. And that wasn't my intention. In fact, one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk to you wasn't even about Hex. It's about the product that that the same founder of Hex and the same core developer team are launching really soon. And have you heard of Pulse Chain?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so Pulse is a fork of the entire Ethereum ecosystem. So everyone is going to get a copy, not just of their ETH, but of all their ERC20 tokens, minus a few tokens on Pulse Chain, where it's going to be much cheaper to transact. And you can actually go on the testnet now. So I wanted to, bring that up because I know that SafeMoon is an ERC20 or it's a BSC token.
It's on the BSC right now.
Okay, it's on BSC, but is it an ERC20?
That's a good question. I believe I did read that, but I have to confirm that.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's an ERC20. I think that that's what I found in my research. But so if anybody wants to receive, duplicate coins of their SafeMoon or any ERC20 tokens that they're holding, you can make sure that they're in your custody and on the Ethereum main chain at the time of the fork or at the time of the snapshot.
Okay, so they're going to give coins of other coins?
Yep, all the ERC20s.
Okay.
All the NFTs are being replicated, all of it.
And they're just going to essentially create their own liquidity pool to give them out?
Yeah, I think that teams and communities are going to be responsible for creating their own liquidity pools for the exchange that's going to be over there, but there already is an exchange that will operate.
Okay. It's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So I want people to know that. And if you are interested in like learning more about how Pulse Chain is going to work, I think the best place to go is t.me/pulsechain.com. And then also read all of the pinned messages before asking questions, because they just get like completely flooded.
Sure. That sounds good.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's see. So I don't believe in governments, spies, anything, but I believe that CZ, who owns Binance, who runs CoinMarketCap, is listing SafeMoon correctly. No, I didn't say that I believe CZ is listing SafeMoon correctly. Shaun, did I say that I think that CMC lists SafeMoon correctly?
No, I don't think you did.
No, I, in fact, deliberately said twice during this stream that CZ does not list SafeMoon or Hex correctly. So...
am I not able to see these comments, or is this just a...
I don't know. Can you see them? So I'm in StreamYard, and you may just need to like click on the comments tab.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me see here. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You see them now?
Yep, I do.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, Shaun, this show is called Building Bridges, and I like to conclude every episode by asking people to build a bridge with me. Would you build a bridge with me so that you and anybody else can always feel like at the very least we can come to each other with questions and everything's okay? Oh, you're frozen.
Are you there?
Oh, there you are. Okay, yes. Okay. So would you build a bridge with me?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So it goes like this. And the way that I found, I've been like doing this for a few weeks now. The way that is most effective is it's the opposite of how you think it is. And then you take your hand that is on your outside and cross it to the inside.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. There. That's an awesome bridge. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I'll see you guys on Wednesday night for the first episode of Building Bridges that is not on Saturday mornings.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.